Hello, everyone. How are you all doing today? Welcome to Randomania 2, your home for all the randomizers and our first restreamed Final Fantasy Weekly race. This is going to be a pretty fun one. I am Game Boy F9. Thank you all for joining us today. I am joined today by Triton. How are you doing this evening?
We're doing pretty good. This is all nice and hype. I got to be part of this when we featured the FF4 Free Enterprise during the marathon, and now to be part of the first weekly. About as hype as you can get. This is a great randomizer, and should be a real fun time tonight.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I've never really played the speedrun before, but ever since Free Enterprise came up, I've been hooked.
Oh yeah, anybody who follows me has seen me binge playing this since I discovered the awesomeness that it is. Speaking of awesome, I want to take a moment before we get too deep into anything and say the layout that you're looking at and the tracker that's being used. These graphics were a fantastic collaboration between Scala Kitty, who set up the graphics, and yourself, actually, I believe, who helped set up the layout.
Yeah, that's right. I did indeed just set up the XML to get everything lined up, but Scala Kitty, man, a real big help. Really appreciate all the work on that.
Yes, so that helps give this a nice sharp look for tonight. And Melee Wizard is behind the scenes doing the tracking with this, so we appreciate that effort as well. Also say thank you to Ryu, who's doing our restreaming tonight, and greatly appreciate it. Also greatly appreciated is the fact we have, I think, 17 runners in this.
Oh my goodness.
Nice big field.
Unfortunately, we're only able to feature 4 of them. We've got Bill Boddix, who I personally haven't seen before, who I personally haven't streamed before. You know anything about Bill Boddix?
Bill's been running this for a while, and he's a veteran runner, and I think he'll be very competitive tonight.
Oh, okay. And then we have Z-Man, who a lot of people like. If you know Zelda and Dragon Warrior, you know Z-Man.
Oh yeah, Z-Man is a veteran randomizer player, newer to this particular randomizer, but he's been picking it up. He's been doing several races, so look forward to a good showing from him tonight.
We have Couch23, who pretty much plays this game religiously, I would say.
Oh yeah, definitely a player, definitely somebody who has done other randomizers as well, including Final Fantasy VI, and in this, with the Free Enterprise, kind of a dividing line, if you will, for how seriously somebody has played this is whether or not you have played a Cataseed, and if you have, you're just in another tier. And certainly Couch and Rivers are some of those Cataseeds.
Finally, we have Rivers McCown, who's pretty much one. I have to admit, one of the gods of Final Fantasy IV, I would say.
Oh, very much a veteran runner, knows the ins and outs of this, and with glitches on, if there's a glitch, Rivers is likely to use it tonight.
Indeed, and that is one of the flags we are going to discuss, is that glitches will be on. So you can glitch all you want in this seed.
Yes, but if you've watched vanilla Final Fantasy IV speedruns, you've definitely seen a few glitches on display, including the item duplication and selling the empty slot. You're going to see those used tonight by all the runners. How much they need to use those will vary, but you'll definitely see those tricks used. Also, when we go to Dwarf Castle, you're likely to see the warp glitch. You won't see a warp to the end of the game, though.
Oh man. No, actually, that's probably a good thing. Actually, you could see a warp to the end game if you pick up a pass.
Well, that's not something I'm counting as a glitch. The pass is, of course, in the vanilla game, it just gives you access to the club. It doesn't do anything more than that. But in Free Enterprise, when you have the pass enabled, it will be sold in this. It'll be sold in a shop somewhere in the world, and it will give you access to a snake way that leads straight to the final boss.
Yeah, so that definitely will be used. I would say that's definitely, well, I'd say there's a very high chance that pass is going to be used tonight, especially with glitches on, I would say.
Yeah, now you can go the long way. You can walk all the way through the moon and get to them just like normal, but the pass is a little bit faster than getting through all that. So if you've already got the levels that you need, then there's no reason to pass instead. You can save closer to the boss by walking into town and just get to them without having to walk all the way through. Hey, nice.
Indeed, and but the thing I do love when you do have to go through the moon. Especially like if you're very under leveled, you can just walk through close to the end of, close to the final boss, Zeromus, or whatever Zeromus is going to look like today. We don't know what it's like. And you run into 3 red dragons, bam, 300,000 experience.
Yeah, we'll talk about the experience, especially as we get closer to 10 items, but if you need to level up, walking through the moon isn't the worst idea in the world. It's definitely your best source of experience from individual encounters, and so it is strategy somebody might use tonight. You will, of course, need the Dark Crystal to be able to do that, however, and oftentimes the pass is easier to get than the Dark Crystal. Not always the case, but usually.
Yeah, agreed. We're still waiting on a couple of people to ready. That's why we haven't started yet. We do have 17 runners, so it does take a little bit of time for everyone to line up and get everything ready to go. So I think we're just waiting on one other person, and we'll get started here in probably a couple minutes.
Yeah, and really exciting. Several people have entered this. This is the first time they've been brave enough to get out there and actually enter an SRL race. And they did that because they've wanted to go out there and compete as part of this field with the randomizer. It's really exciting to do this with a bunch of other people who love the game just as you do. It's so exciting to be part of that. It makes it a lot of fun. And you and I did the first weekly, so we know that feeling well.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's right. That's right. The first weekly we had 21 runners there, and that was. I don't think I've been in a 21-person race before.
Well, if the two of us were in this, that'd be 19, so we're not too far off.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Well, you throw in the tracker and the restreamer, boom, there's your 21.
There you go. We can commentate while running the race, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Fred always volunteers for that in Z1.
Spoilers, that's probably against the rules. All right.
So what we know so far is that they're going to start with Rydia.
Yes, Rydia. Ooh, that's going to be a tough start with just 30 hit points. 30 hit points to start.
Yeah, it'll depend a lot on who her party mate is.
That's true. We don't know who the party mate is, but we will find out in about, I have a feeling, 1 minute, because I think we're just about to start.
Yeah, waiting just a little bit more just to see if we can get things working for everyone. A couple of our runners are talking about dropping off because they're having technical issues, so we're trying to sort that out. One of the things you'll see enabled pretty quickly is there is a dash feature that's added as part of Free Enterprise. That is one of the flags, so it's automatically on. They can turn it off if they'd like, or they can just hold the dash button and it will walk instead.
Oh yeah, it's great. That's a terrific feature of this randomizer, and a lot of randomizers in Final Fantasy IV, for that matter. The double walking speed.
So nice, and just one of those things that can really improve the quality of a run. You're not spending your time walking around. They also have the option to toggle their random encounters, so they can either have them on or have them off. Mostly they'll have them off and just get their experience from bosses. There'll be a few exceptions to that, but when you're able to run and not have those random encounters, just think about all the time that can save you on any given run. It's quite nice.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, you mentioned the encounters. That is one of the things where there is that you can get on and off the encounters. Did you just say that? I'm
To
sorry.
reiterate the point.
I'm sorry. My fault.
We'll also see bosses shuffled, so real quickly we're gonna see what looks like a sprite shuffle, but it's actually just one boss has been replaced with another.
Yeah, that is one of the great things about this randomizer. It's like you run one of your early bosses could be, say, I don't know. It could be you could run into the Fabul Gauntlet in like the Antlion Cave, for example.
Yeah, and some bosses will scale really well, and some of them not so much.
Yeah, exactly. Like we won't have this in the with these flags, but one of the flags you could have is to have the Wyvern be one of the super early bosses, and it could wind up being a gatekeeper. But that's not the case in this seed. This seed, the Wyvern either has to be in the underworld or the moon, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he's got a pretty broad range of where he can be. It's just a question of he's not allowed to block certain things. Like he wouldn't be allowed to block the Dark Crystal.
Ah, okay. I see.
And either the hook or the key should be available without going through him.
Yeah, that's right. No, you're right.
So, apologies, but hey, when it's a new game getting popular with the racers, there's more people to iron out more glitches, and that's what we're working on. And I think we have just one left now.
Yeah, we have one left. Just needs to get back from. I think just need to step out for a quick second, and then it's going to be game on.
Yeah, so we should be very close. The flags you run can really make a lot of differences in the seeds and, well, in how the races go. The weekly flags we've done so far have been an effort to showcase different sets of flags and show different experiences. The first week we tried for a very easy, everybody can finish this seed. There was no reason you couldn't finish that seed unless you had technical difficulties, but that's a different story. But everybody playing now was going to be able to complete it. And so that was the goal. We've stepped up the difficulty a little bit here. The glitches are in play now, so you have to start to learn how to use those. The J items and commands are on, so you kind of get the experience of using those J commands and the subtle differences there are there.
All right,
and
so
we have all of our runners ready to go.
We are going to have race action in about 30 seconds.
So chat, get hype, because we're about to get random on Randomania, where it's the right place to get random.
Exactly. All right, let's have fun, Trenton.
Let's have fun. Let's hope our racers have fun. So they must find the crystal to beat the game. That's the most important item that there is. If you want to rank a number 2 aside from the pass, it's going to be the Dark Crystal because that's going to give them access to the best experience.
Okay.
Edge early is really hype.
Yeah, really. I mean, Edge is like the second best character you want besides Fuso Ya. You can get in these flags, you can get Edge very early, and that is exactly what has happened here.
And of course, the reason it's called Free Enterprise is you start the game with Enterprise for free. They'll pick you up. So the pretty free access to the overworld right away. You've all kinds of places you can go. you can immediately go to do your glitch for money if you're so inclined, and it looks like that might be what Couch does. You can go search for party members, which it looks like Bill is going to do. Go for possible key item locations. All kinds of options you have right away.
Yeah, it looks like Rivers is gonna get money straight away. We have Tella and Dark Knight Cecil over in Mysidia.
Tella's gonna start the exact same way he does in regular Final Fantasy IV, so he won't be full power until after you complete Mount Ordeals. Cecil's gonna be Dark Knight until you complete Mount Ordeals, and there's actually a fair number of runners who don't really care for having Cecil in their party, so don't be surprised if 3 or even all 4 of our runners dismiss Cecil before the night is over.
Yeah, indeed, and there are several reasons why you don't want Cecil in your party, which we'll get to as the Hourglass 3 over on Bill Boddick's side, which is really good. It stops monsters from making any move.
Question in chat, is Cecil mandatory? In fact, nobody is mandatory. You don't have to keep a single person out of the party that you have so far. You can replace them with anyone you want to. So we have found the pass for sale already. Vanilla Town, but not Vanilla Shop.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. And now it's Z-Man who's going to do the duplication glitch. I believe all those swords were selling for like 10 million gold.
Yeah, you're going to do quite well for gold. Although seeing a bunch of the people pick up crystal helmets, which suggests they do plan to use Paladin Cecil since he's the only one who can equip it.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good buy.
So for item duplication, you do need somebody who can equip stuff in 2 hands. Edge is a good source of that. Cecil can do it. Kane can do it. I've never tried it with Yang, but I'm pretty positive he can as well.
Rivers McCallum going to Agama? I believe that's what it's called. No, that's Final Fantasy 1. Agard is. Oh, I forget. I'm sorry.
I had a little bit of lag and didn't get to see what the free item that Edward handed over was. Did you happen to catch that?
No, I missed it.
Well, Chad, if we ever miss something, feel free to keep us honest and let us know. Exits for sale. That's a great item. That'll do exactly what it sounds like. Fire bombs, ether 2s, some good stuff there. And the I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but Bacchus will give you berserk on your character who uses it as an item. So that is another really good one.
Fire bombs are one of the HP related attacks. Yes.
Yeah. Under these flags, I don't believe we'll see apples for sale. I think there is still a chance that they could happen, but they're not normally going to happen.
Oh, okay. So they're not. So those items, the firebomb, the blizzard, and the lit bolt, will not be as awesome as they would be if any item was for sale.
Yeah, if any item was for sale, then those get so OP. They're going to do 5,000-6,000 group damage right away. Kane is the character in the waterway where Tella would normally join Vanilla, so that's a good find for Z-Man.
Yeah, this is turning out to be a very good party already.
So another question in chat is if the chests that are monster guarded are random. They will be random within the area. So for example, in fact, let me pull this up so I cite an actually correct example. But the Tower of Zot has exactly one trapped treasure chest, and that is guarded by a flame dog. There will be only that one treasure chest, and it will be a flame dog fight. So that's your example of how things will work. It will be in the same zone, it will be the same fight, but which chest it is within that zone will be random.
But the question is, will that trapped chest contain a key item. Those flags are enabled for this seed.
It's very possible, and it really changes, if you will, the meta. How you have to think about your approach of this seed, because instead of thinking about what items do I get key locations from, you have to think what locations have the most possible sources of an item. So, for example, Tower of Zot has 2, because if you complete it, there would be one where you would normally get the Magma Key, and there's the treasure chest with the Flame Dog. Now, on the other hand, somewhere as normally innocent as the Slith Cave, where after using the pan it leads you to 2, which isn't that much, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trapped chests, I believe. So Slith Cave becomes incredibly important under these flags.
Yeah, so I'm sorry to quickly change subjects, but the free item from Edward was the adamant armor, which is big, and Rivers with a very masterful job of destroying Vivalis via the Gaia drums he's picked up.
That adamant armor is absolutely the strongest in the game. A couple ways you can go with it, because obviously it's great defense. It'll also increase your attack. So with this party member, Edge would be my first choice. Won't say that's everybody's, but that would be mine. An important thing about adamant armor is do not unequip it. Whoever you're putting it on, leave it there, because otherwise their resistances will glitch, and it's just not good. And an Excalibur for free from the Antlion. That's very hype, because now you can duplicate that for Edge and have all the Excaliburs to throw you could ask for.
Yeah, and pretty much at that point you're looking at a nearly free final boss fight at this point. I mean, Edge is going to need to get some hit points. Everybody's going to need to get some hit points, and so leveling will be a factor. But it's looking really good for the seed right now.
Yeah, when you can not only get Edge, but you can throw adamant armor on him, and you can have unlimited Excaliburs to throw. That's going to help with quite a number of bosses, because even if they have a counterattack script, it's usually going to be bypassed with the throw command. Rivers has gone to the summit of Mount Ordeals and has found the dolls. This is a nice place to fight them because they're just free. They're below HP.
Exactly.
Gaia Drum quickly takes care of them by casting Quake.
I did not see what item he picked up, though. But Couch is coming up the valley now.
Yeah, and some of these go by so fast, there's just not necessarily a way we're going to be able to see it too easily, but we will try and keep up with the key items. What's important is not only the items that you find, but that you ideally will find 10 of them, which is a little harder to do under these flags. But once you do, you get double experience. We haven't really talked about the experience so far. Do you want to talk about the no split rule?
Yeah, so in this randomizer, what was implemented is, what Trenton just said, the no split rule. That means, normally in Final Fantasy IV, your experience is split upon the number of party members that are alive. But in this, we don't do that. So you get massive experience with every monster you fight, virtually. That is where that 300,000 experience I mentioned earlier came from. If you kill 3 red dragons late in the game, that's 300,000 experience. And but there are other ways where you can get even more experience points, and that might come into play later on. We'll see.
Yeah, chances are we're going to see just about every possible way to get experience. So, who knows? Meanwhile, the Magus Sisters have taken place to the Mist Dragon. No, really a reason to do that fight under these flags. If you're playing with no free lunch, this fight leads you to a key item, or a potential key item, but it won't under this rule set.
Yeah, maybe he was thinking, oh, the major summon monsters might lead to a key item, because that is enabled. So, like, if you kill Muhammad or Ashura, then, or at least those, or whoever's replaced them, that might be a thing.
It went by so fast we didn't get much of a chance to see it on Z-Man's part, but apparently not everybody knows this, so I'll take a point to highlight it. That oh, by the way, Vanilla Fabul Rush, is this even random? The hovercraft actually has a dash feature, so you can go in turbo mode with it if you're so inclined.
Oh, yeah, I just learned that the other day. I think I learned that during the marathon. Oh, and look at that jar from Z-Man. 20 gold pieces.
The treasure rewards are going to be pretty good, but not supremely good. So, for example, you're not going to find in untrapped chest the level of rewards that you would get from a trapped chest. And Evil Wall is taking the place of the Antlion.
Ooh, Dragoon armor. Dragoon armor, Dragoon gloves. That's really good armor for Kane. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, the good equipment early is helpful and simplifies menuing time. It takes marginal situations and makes them safer. All around good stuff. But we're getting a great exhibition in how powerful these J items can be. As these Gaia drums have making quick work of the Fabul boss rush for River. And because of the size of the pool of locations where key items can be, there's absolutely no guarantee that you will get a key item from here, even though it normally would be. Question in chat: when you get a new character, what determines the level of that character? That actually keeps its normal treatment.
Yeah,
so Fusoya is going to join at level 50 wherever he joins.
Yeah, that's right. And one of the possible flags you can do is, we mentioned this earlier, is that the Fushoya challenge, where he starts a little bit weaker and then he gets stronger as you kill bosses off. So try to balance that, but we're not doing that today. If you run to Fusoya, whoa.
Yeah, you're going to be very happy, as you're going to have a very powerful mage. Or wizard or sorcerer, whatever you want to call him. Just don't call him late for dinner. Or nap time. Never let Fusoya miss his nap time. So often by different routes, but you see people kind of start to converge as they go through the overworld locations, because if you haven't found the magma key or hook, you don't have access to the subworld yet. And you won't necessarily, by the way, get that just from the overworld. You might have to find the dark crystal first and go to the moon.
That's right, because the crystal could be on the moon because of those bosses up there.
That's Couch didn't save. That's a little risky. The first Mylon fight usually not necessarily that bad, but I would definitely want to save before the second one. You can absolutely get bosses that make life very unpleasant here.
Did Couch get the Excalibur yet?
Not one of the things I'm trying to track tonight.
Yeah.
Information
Yeah.
overload at some point.
Yeah. Oh no, that's right. He hasn't been in the Antlion Cave yet, I don't think.
Yeah, if you've been to Antlion, you're going to get Excalibur, and if you've got Paladin Cecil, then you're going to dupe those and have all of them to throw your heart could desire. But you're going to have Paladin Cecil to do that.
Yeah, which is something Couch doesn't have right now.
Well, it couldn't either way, aside from not having Cecil.
Well, Rivers McCown's going to be very happy in just one moment.
Yeah, as far as a non-key item find goes, that's about as hype as you're gonna find.
E-Man getting a whole bunch of ninja stars. Not a bad choice, considering he hasn't found the Excalibur yet.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee you're going to. You know that there's still the possibility to get Vanilla Excalibur, turn in Legend Sword and Adamant, but then that's 2 more items you have to find. So it's no guarantee, and I dare say probably 2/3 or more of the time you're not going to get Vanilla Excalibur.
Well, looks like Couch is going to be okay. He's got the Pale Dim, and then soon he's going to easily dispatch the Calbrano.
But if there's one thing I'm known for saying, it's don't try and do math on Twitch. Live on Twitch. How quick is the item duplication chat? How quick is the duplication glitch? Chat asks. You want to tackle that one, Gameplay?
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's very long at all. You probably could take care of it in like 20 seconds. If you're good.
It's menuing and running away from the fight.
Yeah. Now, if you're like me, it's going to take a little bit longer because I still have to learn that glitch, but, you know.
Alright, so I just got to look that time, and then Twin Harp was what Couch just picked up. That is true of anyone who's completed Paladin Cecil. So, also Rivers has picked up Twin Harp, Z-Man has not, and I do not know about Bill.
So if there's one thing I've noticed about this randomizer is that it really likes to chain. And I say it like that is be like you're gonna get the Twin Harp in order to get the Earth Crystal, you're gonna get the Earth Crystal in order to get etc, 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 etc. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Odin fight. Over in Barentown.
Yeah, so Odin is non-trivial and going to do a lot of damage if he lives long enough, so you're basically hoping to kill him as fast as possible, but if you duplicate the Excaliburs, you can do that pretty quickly. Not that the Gaia drums are shabby either.
Yeah, well, Rydia's gone though. Still has time. We have plenty of time. Odin's gone.
Oh yeah. Well, Odin's one of those you're going to hope to actually see early on. And there is our magma key here at the Baron Inn.
I'm going to see right about now what that full key item was.
It wasn't a key item, it was a charm rod.
Oh, nope, charm rod. So that definitely makes it official that you do have to either check a trap chest or one of the super bosses or the super boss locations in order to, well, find another key item. It might not be the key item, like the key item that's going to help you win the game, but
yeah, the Eblin Castle is still available to runners, and that has 4 trapped treasure chests, any one of which could contain a key item. So we'll find out if anybody makes the run for that.
River's just now picking up his free item from Edward.
And we'll be quite pleased to have the adamant armor. You don't really need it even this early, but it's nice to have. Nobody's ever complained about getting adamant armor. Unless they already had 5 of them and needed the crystal still. Then maybe somebody complained about getting adamant armor, but it's iffy.
Or you could just be crazy. Like be like, where's my adamant armor? So Rivers McCown has now entered the Tower of Zot. He's going to check every single treasure chest to try to find that trapped treasure chest. As Trenton mentioned earlier, we don't know where this one trapped chest is.
We do know there's only one, and we know he cannot complete this without the Earth Crystal. So there's 2 characters who will join via Tower of Zot, Rosa and Cain and Vanilla. You're not going to be able to do that without having the Earth Crystal, but you can check the treasure chests.
And you never know, one of those treasure chests could be the Earth Crystal.
Would pose an interesting dilemma as to what I assume you would finish out Tower of Zod at that point. Halib is available from Hachu Mountain, as I like to call it, where normally Yang would, of course, join. And a very powerful Black Mage will learn Nuke faster than Ridya.
Okay, I believe Rivers has found Flame Dog.
There we go. So that's our one trapped chest, and this is the one chance for a key item here.
And I did not catch it.
I got a little bit of lag, but I haven't gotten there yet, so I'm waiting to see if it'll pop. Or I could just buffer right by it, and I didn't. So, Rivers, with his treasure chests checked, will depart from here. It's pretty quick to exit out. And looks like Couch has gone to Dark Elf Cave, which he is able to complete, having the Twin Harp. No trapped chests, but a potential key item location. Not a whole lot of reason to check these treasure chests. The early dungeons actually scaled differently than later dungeons for their items. Meaning somewhere like the Moon is going to have better treasure chests than somewhere like Antlion Cave.
Me attack you.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get to hear maybe the second best feature of this randomizer with Couch. But if you have not seen the Dark Elf location boss fight before with Twin Harp, strongly recommend you see that sometime. And we'll probably get to hear that later on. I wouldn't be surprised if Seaman goes there as well. So first phase is still going to be the Dark Elf, and then once the Twin Harp starts, you will find out who has actually taken the place of the Dark Elf today.
Yeah, Rivers is right behind Couch. Gonna figure all that out.
Oh my.
Oh,
That's who I think it is.
Yes, Rubicon. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Gonna go with the Bacchus wine to punch. Probably a very good idea because Berserk is so powerful in Final Fantasy IV.
Question in chat, basically, if these fights, if it'll go fast. Well, the biggest thing will be finding the crystal and finding experience, as Bill is able to pick up the magma key. So we must find the crystal somewhere before they're able to go to the end. Duplication will give you money, and it'll give you Excaliburs to throw in this case, both of which are good. But we might not find the crystal till the Moon. It could involve a lot of digging.
We have a winner. So one of the cool features about this randomizer is that if instead of saying Cecil level, Cecil gained a level, Cecil gained a level, it would have said that 18 times. But instead, it just Cecil's level. Boom, you're done.
One of the great conveniences that has been added to this randomizer, the Legend Sword is an interesting little find for Couch. It is one of the key items. Puts you closer to the Excalibur vanilla, which, perhaps more importantly under these flags, if you find the adamant, turn it in, because that's going to be a more powerful shop. It's going to have 3 items in it that you wouldn't find in any other shop. And they'll be pulled from the greater items list. They may be useful, they may be worthless, but potentially much more powerful, so you'll want to check it, if you can.
So now it's going to be Couch heads on up to the Tower Zot. Now, I don't think the Earth Crystal was up there, because if I'm not mistaken, the Rivers went back up, left the Tower Zot.
Yeah, and I'm just figuring it's dangerous to try and read somebody's mind, but I think if you had Earth Crystal, you would finish, because it could be potentially another key item plus 2 recruits, so you might find somebody you want more than a current party member.
Rivers just mowed down Rubicon with a couple Excaliburs.
They'll do their job quite nicely and be very overpowered early. Question, is E-Man doing a grind, and for what? I don't know if he's necessarily doing a grind. He might have been looking for a couple encounters just to get a couple of levels to catch up.
Yeah, he picked up some Sirens early on, and what Sirens do is it gives you the 1 in 64 battle, which happens to be 2 Lamias. And they award 5,500 experience each. That's a lot of experience early on.
Still something I would probably want for later instead of using that now, but personal preference. Couch has found the Flame Dog fight, Z-Man has found the Mephalis fight, and Bill is checking out the chests in the subworld, because why wouldn't you? They'll actually usually be a little better equipment-wise. Not always, but usually.
Oh, I see, yep. Try to check some of these boxes here.
Yeah, got this little treasury in town, bunch of free stuff available, why not? If they're kind enough to hand it over to you, why not take advantage? And Rivers is one of the more important locations you can go to. I touched on this earlier, but Elven Castle has 4 trapped treasure chests, so it's a location with 4 possible spots for a key item to be in. It's one of the most dense spots possible. You can get to those 4 chests really quickly. You might even how to check treasure. Didn't know how. I certainly have. Randomizer will teach you all kinds of things.
Yeah, indeed.
So a twin harp for Z-Man.
Then he'll get his very easy, in our opinion, boss fight. He's got a Gaia drama, and I think that'll be a good game.
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna see. I'm sorry. Now we're gonna see who we're gonna run into at the Dwarf Castle.
Oh yeah, this is one of the things that's very important before you go into this fight is to make sure you have Warpin. Hopefully that. It's not essential, but it is preferred.
And we've got a mirror match.
Have to pick up the Yang fight. Of course, it'll be... I actually didn't think to look at this flag to make sure that the alternative win conditions are still on. But normally with these fights, if they're scripted, you can win them either way. So, for instance, the king and queen, if you wait long enough, they'll just take care of themselves. But you can also usually beat things if they're low enough HP.
Yeah, I believe the alternative win conditions are still on for this seed.
Yeah, so in that case, a few rounds will win the fight, regardless of what you do, but that's definitely a win.
But there are two bosses
Conveniences
here.
they added, actually, this was in the latest version. I'm sorry, but just to touch on this real fast, you will get experience from that fight, which you wouldn't before.
Oh yeah, I never thought about that before. All right, let's see who boss. Oh, we get to face the CPU. Now this is, actually I think this is going to be okay. Oh, Yang just joined.
This is pretty early, and Excalibur's to throw are probably going to do the job. Assuming Bill has Excaliburs, I don't think that's what he was throwing.
Or he's just gonna out damage the CPU. That'll work too. There's Mazer, 80% of your max HP's damage.
Question in chat: if Rivers found the pink tail, that is possible. We're having some lag on our side tonight. Just don't want to make too big a deal out of it. But if ever you see them pick up an item that we didn't see, please let us know.
So a small risk being taken here by Billbotics, getting rid of both the attacker and defender.
And that
really
means CPU is going to be CPU. But he survived it.
Yeah,
So,
beat him in time.
Rivers got Pinktail. Global 1999 does not scale. So if it hits, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
It's one of those skills, along with Wyvern's Mega Nuke, that just does not scale down. You're going to take vanilla damage from it. So if you're getting that in the wrong spot, it's just gonna hurt. Probably a good time to mention what Pinktail does, since River picked it up. You want to touch on that?
Yes. So normally you would pick up the rat tail and turn it in, and you would get the element in return. What else you can pick up? You can pick up a pink tail through a very rare fight of lunar subterrane, by beating up pink puffs, and hopefully you get the 1 in 64 chance, etc., etc., etc. But when you turn in that pink tail, you get another adamant armor. So it looks like Rivers is going to get 2 adamant armors here.
We'll need the hook to be able to do that. I didn't get to see what the second item was from Dwarf Castle. The crystal room was a protect ring, so that's what you would have gotten from the sealed cave, but by using the warp glitch, going there will not be required.
Yeah, that saves a ton of time.
And Bill has already found a trapped treasure chest really easy in Tower of Babel. Which I believe there are 4 of them.
Running into chimeras by themselves are not fun because they always a virus. An easy virus wouldn't care of things.
Oh, and apparently River was able to find the crystal, so that's a huge pickup. And
yeah, so did
that must have been
Couch.
at Elven Castle. Couch found it as well. Which means they have access to 2 great locations. One is the moon, and one is the giant.
They still have to find the crystal, though, so the game is not over.
Yeah, very much afoot, but question: go trying to get experience already.
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah, if you get a lot of experience, then you're going to get a ton of attack power. Now, Billbonics has done the MP underflow glitch on Tella, which is a pretty cool move. I'm not all that familiar with that. I think, Trenton, do you think you could...
Well, I'm not familiar with the execution, but I'm familiar with the concept, and basically it's going to let you overcast spells, so Tella will actually be able to use media.
Yes, and this event used in the field. You can only use magic in battle. But whatever you want to do, whatever spell you want to cast, you can do it now.
And here is Rosa taking Fosoya's spot on the moon. Rosa is the most powerful white mage, so that may be an addition to people's parties, especially before you start any kind of experience rank. And it looks like Rydia was dismissed for Rogue. At least on Riverside, but people might make a different choice. Meanwhile, Z-Man is working his way through the Elf Cave, so we are actually about to get to hear what I would call one of the best options of this randomizer.
Oh, here we go. Yep, he's going to go to the Giant of Babel, if I'm not mistaken.
Once you have the big whale, you just have to talk to the guard, and he'll be happy to take you around.
So Rivers is definitely going for experience here.
Yeah,
And
there's...
Oh, go ahead.
There's one particular location in the fight that he'll hope to get, and we'll talk about that a bit when he gets there. Meanwhile, since we have Z-Man's audio, let's take a moment to appreciate what we're about to hear.
Yeah, this is great. I believe this is Shadow's music from Final Fantasy VI.
So one of the great features you get to enjoy, that'll be random in different seeds. I don't even know how many songs that are in that mix. I don't think I've heard a repeat yet, personally. But just one of those nice little Easter eggs that Boardface put into the randomizer. Easter eggs, see what I did there?
Yeah. You're one day late. It's Dingus Day here.
It's still the season.
True.
And is that Leviathan that Bill's about to fight? Looks like a broader shoulder pattern. Yep, that's Leviathan. As Z-Man picks up the Legend Sword.
The trap treasure chest for Rivers was a crystal shield. So that part didn't quite work out.
Oh, there's the crystal. River just found it. It was a trapped treasure chest in Giant of Babel. Wow.
Oh, was it? Oh, I thought he found the crystal shield.
Well, Chad, tell me if I'm wrong. It was a trapped chest, so it is eligible to be that.
Yeah, it is. I thought it was a shield, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I get buffering. I could easily be off. Chat, tell me what you saw.
We'll find out if he's...
If he is, that's huge, because that's a place where not everybody's going to find it as quickly. And chat saying Crystal confirmed. That's why he's hightailing it out of there. That's true. He didn't go for
Oh.
go for the grind fight there. He's gone to the moon instead.
All right, well there you go. Giant of Babel required. Wow. I would have never gone.
There is only one item available for Giant of Babel. It is that treasure chest. So that is about the rarest location it could be. I mean, when you talk about every other location, either multiple treasures or other reasons that make it possible. So, land of summon monsters. There's a trap chest along the way. There's the rat tail in vanilla, and there's the 2 summon fights. So, summon monsters on that way. You've got 4. Tower of Zot. You've got 2 possible ones. But Giant of Babel only has the 1. So that is literally the rarest place it could be under these flags.
Yeah, that's amazing. And meanwhile, Rivers picked up the Stardust one, which is going to be good for the Black Mage. Yeah, he got a Black Mage, right? No, he doesn't have a Black Mage. Never mind.
Not overly surprising that you would go with the white magic. I don't think Cecil would be first choice for a party member here, but it would. With items, you don't need the Black Mage quite as much because in terms of nerfing Big Bang, you can do that with the item as well.
Mm-hmm. So Rivers, in addition to picking up that Stardust one, picked up 30,000 experience points, which is a lot of points. Now, I don't think he's eligible for the double points, because I don't think he's picked up 10 items, but he's going into Bahamut's Cave, and I'm pretty sure there's only one reason why he's doing it. He is a horde of experience, and no, wait, he has encounters turned off. Never mind.
You will still get forced fights there, though. The behemoths that are on trap tiles, you will still encounter those.
Yeah, but he turned off encounters, so he gets to skip those. He's gonna elect adamant armor for Rosa. And the Tiara helmet for Rosa, which increases her white magic power, so... Well, that's a fight you want to run into. Milan and 4 gas.
I'm just still trying to get over the fact that Crystal ends up being in the rarest place it could be under these flags.
Yeah, no, that's boy, it's hard for me to come up with anything similar in other randomizers that I've seen. I don't know.
It's Pedestal Seed?
Yeah, and Link to the
If
Past
you're in the
randomizer.
Z3, which most people are. Closest I can come up with on the fly. But that also means Dark Crystal is required item, by the way. So you have to go to Elden Castle and pick it up.
Meanwhile, Z-Man, I believe, is going for going through Elben Castle.
Yeah, that'll lead
King
him
of Blizzards.
that will lead him to the Dark Crystal. Here's the downside. The Lunar Path actually has more possible locations. So if you're not comfortable with your grind fight strat, the Moon acts like a much more compelling place to go. I don't think River went to Giant of Babel necessarily for that one treasure. I think he went there looking for the experience and then found that along the way.
Robonics running into Rubicon now.
But again, always dangerous to try and get into a runner's head.
What I always love about Milan is that he always flip one every time he wants to counter.
Yeah. This is one of those fights that doesn't really scale up. So when you find Mylon, it's just gonna be an easy fight. There's some of them that don't scale down. There's some of them that don't scale up. And then there's others that are just right. I mean, when you've got Golbez early and he starts casting virus on you, things just don't go well. So Z-Man now should have the Dark Crystal. He finished at Elven Castle.
All right, so Rivers defeated Bahamut and scored 35,000 experience points. So everybody's gained another 2 or 3 or 4 levels now. And picked up an archer bow for his trouble.
So River, being a really veteran runner, will probably do the Zaramos fight at a lower level than I, for example, would do it at. So mid-40s, even low 40s might be possible for River, whereas I'd be somebody who would look for mid-50s.
Yeah, when did I the one see where the one race I was in, I think I went to like 55 or something like that. Sound about right?
Yeah, 55 would be, yeah, as long as you have any kind of reasonable selection, that would be plenty of levels.
Right.
It's like Bill has gone to the Slith Cave, which, like I said when we were vamping early on, this is one of those locations with a really high rate of possible items, so it makes a ton of sense to come here. Excuse me for just one moment, please.
All right. I'll try to fill you in here as Bill Botix is up with a rather nasty set here with 2 mobiles. The mobiles enact a status which is just everything. There it is. Frog, confusion, pig, whole 9 yards. But here we go, Rivers McCown going through the lunar subterrane. And it looks like he wants to fight all the super monsters. See where that takes him.
Well, looks like
Golbez.
Not a bad time for Golbez. You should be reasonably well set up to fight him. We're working on these lunar fights, which these boss fights are all phenomenal experience. They'll really help you get caught up fast. Got a protect ring. I'm not sure if that protects you from demolish. Ribbons will, and I think it's the adamant armor will as well.
All right, so what Golbez does is he demolishes 3 characters, and then what's going to happen is he's going to release the hold, and then it's the fight is on.
One minor correction: he will attempt to demolish 3 characters.
Yeah,
it looks like in this case he was able to for Rivers, but if you've got ribbons on or adamant armor, the demolish will not work.
Yeah, that's true. And we can see the star veils going up on for River's side. So that's pretty much a wall, and so now everything's being reflected off the walls and is hurting Golbez instead.
Yeah, and Golbez is going to fire off that virus, which is unpleasant, and he will have the HP of this fight I don't remember which one this is in vanilla, but all these other bosses tend to be a little on the high side, except probably Plague.
Meanwhile, Billbotics is still working on 6 ghosts. And what is Couch doing? Oh, received, I believe, a diamond shield for his trouble.
The Couch is top of Tower of Babel. So just beat what would have been Dr. Luigi. Now will Z-Man take Rosa to the party? Question in chat. Nice tracker. Where you found it? This is actually Randomania's tracker program. The graphics have been done by the very fabulous Scala Kitty. And if you join the Discord, there is actually a web-based individual tracker that Scala Kitty has done that has a very similar look that I can't recommend enough. I use it personally. If you come check out my runs on stream, see it in action. For that resources, please join the Discord and you'll get all the information you could ever ask for, and even more. And dad jokes from Fred, in case you don't get enough of those in your life.
Okay, so I actually went back to River's VOD, and he actually did pick up the crystal shield, not the actual crystal that defeats Zeromus. So it's still game on.
Okay, I think I'm a little happier. And that actually explains to me a little bit what we're reading here, because doing all these lunar boss fights, they're not just great experience, but they're all potential item locations. So he's hitting off locations that have a high chance of having this, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes from here to Slith Cave.
So now the question is, will it be found actually in the Silva Cave? Unfortunately, we haven't been... Oh, the hooks was just found. Toward the alternate exit out of the cave.
Alright, so the hook is going to let him turn in the pink hill and get another adamant armor.
Looks like Z-Man is grinding on eggs.
He's got the Dark Crystal now, so maybe he's just trying to get a kind of a basic level before going to the moon. I mean, if you try and do that at low 20s, it's gonna hurt. And Nora's in the house. Nora, one of the hardest working people on Twitch for restreaming a bunch of races. And I think that also means we're being joined by the Randomania 1 crew who was watching a Dragon Warrior randomizer.
Yeah, so we welcome those watching over Randomania. Congratulations to Tristal. I was just watching that toward the end there. He defeated AA by about 5 minutes. You're watching Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Randomizer. So pretty much quite a pretty fun seed we've had so far. Just a vast array of strategy going on here.
Baron Key ends up being in the Rat Nest here in the town of Monsters. It's one of 4 possible item locations that are on this path. One in the cave, the rat tail chest. Here, elixirs. That's a great find. Elixirs will, of course, be a full heal of both hit points and magic points. So Z-Man's quite happy to pick those up. We are on the hunt for the crystal, which is needed to defeat Zeramos to win the game. And we have runners all over the place looking for it. Bill Biotics is in the Slith Cave, which is one of the highest possible locations. Most most probable locations because of the number of places it could be. Z-Man's in Land of Summoned Monsters, which has several, and Rivers is on the Moon, which has the best experience and also the highest number of possible locations, I think.
Yeah, and this behemoth that Rivers is fighting right now is one of the trapped monsters. That behemoth is going to get about 50,000 experience points all by himself. And of course, possibly a really awesome item. Unfortunately, we don't get to see what it was because we had a little bit of lag there.
Well, I'm behind you. Maybe I'll get it, but usually that means I'm going to lag too, so probably not. Yeah, we've been doing different flags with the different weeklies. So in this one, the glitches are on, which has led to item duplication, which was very hype with the early Excalibur and Edge being the second party member we had. So people have got plenty of material to throw today. Also, aside from the trapped treasure chests, the normal treasure chests here on the Moon will be biased a little bit and should, generally speaking, be better treasure than you would get in early dungeons. And River's levels are creeping up there. High 30s, low 40s.
Yeah, probably the key hit points you want to hit for all your heroes is about 2,000. That's about what you're gonna get, what you're gonna take from Zeromus.
So as far as the major items that we definitely know we found, the Pigtail was at Elven Castle along with the Dark Crystal. The hook we just found in the Slith Cave. And Baron Key was Summoned Monsters. So that is another potential key item that Z-Man has access to, and he's currently the only one who could go find that. Of our 4 featured runners, that is. There are actually, this is quite a large field. It's 17, I think, but keep up with everyone, so we're just on these 4. Oh, chat saying that, Melee is saying that the Rat Tail's in Slith Cave as well. This is a loaded Slith Cave.
Yeah, and the Rat Tail in this case, in the randomizer, you turn the Rat Tail in and you get a different key item. So you're probably not going to get the animate, you're going to get something else, but it's probably going to be good.
And I think Z-Man is still searching for that trapped treasure chest that he didn't find yet. There is one that is normally in the cave, but it could be shuffled into the town.
And it doesn't look like it was there.
Well, maybe he already had it and I just didn't see it and he wanted to get the rest of the treasure chest. I didn't see him do the boss fights, which is 2 more possible item locations.
Ooh, Massimune found over for Rivers McCown.
Very nice find. But honestly, you're probably not going to be attacking too much with Edge. Results may vary. Question in chat, with J items, can you buy apples with this? That's going to depend on your shop's flag. With it turned down like it is, we actually shouldn't see it, generally speaking. If you're on the highest shop flags settings, then you're going to be able to buy the apples. But if you turn it down, you can use the items but not buy the apples. You can still find them in treasure chests, it's just not going to be game-breaking that way.
All right, Z-Man now attempting the Dwarf Castle Gauntlet. That's what I was looking for. Looks like Rivers has run into the Rydia fight. Deals 7,000 damage to the officer, and it doesn't kill it off.
Well, they do scale up in HP, so it can be quite a different experience for you.
I would say the good news is that it's not really hard here.
So haven't had a great chance to see what Rivers has found yet, but I don't believe we've seen Crystal as of yet, or he'd probably stop and dedicate himself to a specific brand point more.
Yeah, I have not seen the crystal yet.
What does Yang's wife have? I have no idea, because of course that's right when it loves to pick that moment to buffer on me. This
All
is
right,
when
so
you don't try and do live play-by-play, just recap everything we know.
So Rivers did something really cool. He intentionally went and killed the officer and winds up getting a lunar staff for it, which is a really good staff, but probably not exactly what he was looking for. Anyway, he after he killed the officer, though, he used a life potion on it. And why would you try to revive a monster? Well, the fact of the matter is there's a glitch that keeps him dead and awards double bonus points for that character, which he's still looking for. So it's great play.
And Z-Man using the warp glitch to go back and get the Dark Crystal. In Vanilla, you're able to use that to skip all the fights in Sealed Cave. In Randomizer, you're able to pick up the item that would be at the end of the Sealed Cave. And by the way, there's Plague.
Yeah, he's just one room over from the other place, from his vanilla location, if I'm not mistaken.
There's also a question in chat, has anyone done the first town yet? Well, the only one who could at this point would be Z-Man. He picked up the Baron key, nobody else would be able to complete it.
It's very possible the Baron could be where the really key items are. All right, River's running out of time here on this play. Can he get it in time? Oh, kind of for 100,000 experience.
That was interesting because there's a couple things you can do to make that fight work in your favor.
Oh, bam, Crystal.
Guarded by Plague.
Yep. That.
Okay.
He can go for game. Oh, and as a matter of fact, he also has the tower key just for the heck of it. Wow.
So Dark Crystal required, and going to the depths of the moon for those fights was required. It made perfect sense for River to come here. Not only was he getting experience along the way, but it's the most possible locations. And also, it happens, he's almost to Zaramos, so he might just walk the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think so. Unless he maybe wants to grind a few more levels.
Yeah,
I don't think he's interested in that, though.
Gonna be the best experience, so looks like he's satisfied.
Z-Man picking up Excalibur. Billbotics trying an Octomam up on the top of the Tower of Zot. That's the first boss fight. He is reviewing to see if he's got enough HP, and I believe he does.
And hopefully he saved after getting that crystal, because you didn't have to redo that much. Mid 40s, with a runner's experience as Rivers is, I think that's very possible. And we're about to get our first look at the final boss. One of those subtleties, though, Rivers never found the hooks, so he wasn't able to turn into Pinktail. the runners are actually going to come in here better equipped for this fight than us.
So Zeromus has about 100,000 hit points, unless you do the wall trick where you can bounce spells off the walls and his HP doesn't reset. Then he's got 60,000. Oh, what is that? That is Kefka.
So
Kefkoness.
this is the Z flag on display. Anytime you seeds at ff4-free-enterprise.com, add the Z flag to your settings, and you'll usually be quite happy with the results.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen a duplicate yet as far as the Zeromus alternative.
I've seen 2 duplicates. I've seen the hand twice. Actually 3. I've seen X-Death twice, the hand twice, and another one that I don't know what it called twice. So this is a new one to me.
So already I think Rivers has dealt 15,000 damage, but here comes the first big bang.
And River done this so many times, he knows kind of the timing to get in, weakening the effects of that bit. And that is by using a black magic spell on Zeromus at the right time. Bang will not hit for full damage, and he knows how to time that well.
Yeah, right now this Kefka just getting destroyed.
Yeah, and probably the one party member that wouldn't have been River's first choice was Cecil, but with that Excalibur on, he can still do decent damage. Actually, very decent damage.
Yeah, one of the reasons you might not want Cecil in your party ultimately is that your agility, the speed of the battle, is based on Cecil's agility if he's in your party. So, and Cecil usually has some pretty decent agility, so it winds up being a fast battle, so you get less turns.
Yeah, and also commonly melee damager like Yang will get Berserker to do good damage. So
I think I've only seen one big bang out of Kefkamus, which means I think that he's... Oh yeah, game's over. There's Meteor, that's his final form right there. I think he's taken one big hit, it's over. Grand Prior Rivers would count 68 minutes, 41 seconds. Congratulations.
will join us for an interview in a little bit. Maybe one of the things we'll do is break down this fight in a little more detail. But by using your agility correctly, you're able to do this quite a bit differently. And River found the right path, and the right path was once you had that crystal, head on up to the moon, start checking those boss fights, and it wasn't the very last one, but it was one of the last ones. Plague was guarding the crystal. So, I mean, 1 hour time on these flags is fantastic, as much as you could have potentially had to dig for items. And I'm not sure who all has the Dark Crystal and who doesn't. You had to get it from Elven Castle, or Eblon, or however you pronounce it, just don't call it Lake Dinner.
The Avenger's Sword is what was found for in Baron Castle.
So, River, GG.
Hey, GG, thanks.
Did you have any idea you were gonna do this Well, not bordering on sub 1 hour.
Well, I feel like with these seeds, it's pretty much just, are you lucky enough? And this time I was lucky enough.
Obviously you prioritized going over to the moon versus some of the other locations that have good density, but maybe not as many possible locations. What makes you prioritize that? Is it just number of locations? Is it locations plus experience?
Basically, what my mindset on that is, if I go to the moon, there's a chance I might find like a tower key or a pan that I might use later, and I'd rather just get it all out of the way as soon as possible. And if I'm going to check the underworld, then I want to be able to check it and check everything that I can.
So
It
it's
turned out
kind
you
of
did
no
find
double
the
max
tower.
strats.
Yes, I did find the tower key. It was very important. Oh, I could have had the sand ruby. What? So I'm imagining pretty much everybody saw the magma key, and that sent half people underworld, and maybe the other half, like me, went after the rest of the overworld stuff and found darkness crystal, and then probably another like half chose to keep going underworld anyway.
Yeah, a couple of runners went to Slith Cave. Z-Man did summon monsters, so now he's done Baron Castle and he's checking the Odin fight. I thought it was Bahamut today.
Lovely. Yeah, that plague fight was really scary with the 40,000 HP and as fast as he was, but thankfully, once you have Excalibur, a lot of things are pretty easy.
So for somebody who hasn't been a big speedrunner of FF4 and may even be new to the random, talk us through a little bit of that Zaramos fight. How do you set up for it, first of all?
Well, you're trying to find kind of the balance where your Cecil or middle character has enough agility to keep Zeramus a little bit slow, but also try to find balance where your guys are faster against him. I didn't really have that this time. There wasn't really a lot of nuance to the fight as it was kind of constructed for me, because I had Cat Claws, I had Excalibur, and that was pretty much it. So at that point, it's just, berserk everybody and start throwing the Excals and see what happens.
So it looks like Bilbotics is trying. So there wasn't anything important of the Odin fight. Bilbotics is trying the two summoner fights on the land of summon monsters.
Yeah, it's such a different animal when you've got all these extra locations to check. I imagine it's a little easier the more you've run this, but for anyone who may be newer to it, if you're going to run with these many locations, probably a good idea to pick up a tracker and have those trapped chest locations so you know what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's a good thing for newcomers especially. My kind of plan was basically, let's eliminate all the little hanging places that I can go to early, see if it opens up anything else new, and by checking Evelyn early, getting Darkest Crystal, I was like, oh, well, I have enough in my party right now to actually go for it, so I just went for it.
Yeah, lag actually, a little bit of buffering trolled us a little, because that one fight in Giant of Babel, if you remember, you got Crystal Shield.
Mm-hmm.
More than a couple of us were actually fooled into thinking that's where you found Crystal.
Yeah, I had to double take that one as well. Unfortunately, there's just so many things named Crystal in this game for some reason. It's almost like it's a Final Fantasy, and yeah.
And I was just thinking that has to be the most obscure place it could be, because that's the only possible location where there is only one possible item.
Yeah. There's the Lunar Path has just one item as well, and Tower of Zod if you're going to do it early. There's only a couple that are just like hanging out there like that, and I want to get them all as soon as I can.
So none of our featured runners are on the moon right now, so we know it's going to be a little bit of while before we see anything else. Talk to us a little bit about the weeklies, because you've kind of been the head of this. What has your thought process been in setting up the flags, and what are we looking at going forward?
Well, I think for this seed, specifically this flag set, my vision was, let's see how annoyed people get by it, because I know it's asking a lot of fetch, and I think probably what I've learned from doing this one and having people practice over the week is that I might want to scale it back to K2 or so and see how people think about that one. Generally speaking, I just try to find flags that I think are interesting, that I think some people could look at and play with a little bit, and then I'm looking for what feedback is the most important for me is just how hard it is versus how long it is, and that sort of thing.
And we do invite anybody to join the Discord and offer your feedback. You can get the flags we raced in the past. You can see what's coming up for the next week, practice it. And, nobody's going to be chased away just because they're new. We absolutely will welcome you, give you more resources that you can shake a stick at, or your money back guaranteed.
Yeah, for sure. We got a lot going on there, and it's been extremely active. I'm almost surprised at how quickly this has taken off, but it's a lot of fun, and if you come join us, we'll definitely cater to you as much as we can.
And we've made a dedicated effort here. This is obviously still new in doing the weeklies, but there you can always do a pickup race. Of course, you can offer it up to see who joins in the community. I think we did 5 in a race last night, just kind of with an Easter egg theme of used the same depth of treasures where stuff could be anywhere, but a little bit higher rewards. So that was just a fun little pickup game we did last night.
Yeah, it's
stuff going all the time.
It's gotten to be like a top 20 SRL race of late or something like that. Miriam showed me. So yeah, I mean, people are picking it up, and races are not necessarily just the weekly. There's a lot going on with this.
Yeah, and I will mention that here at Randomania, we do intend to show weekly races every week. So we're really excited. The Randomania crew is really excited to restream this. So.
So what's going on here?
Who helped make this tracker. And again, I want to mention this. I did it at the top, but I'll say it again. Scalakitty did a great job with the graphics that we have on this tracker. This is our first chance to show it off in a feature race like this, so I'm really hype about that as well.
Yeah, she's generally been excellent for this community in a lot of ways, but especially putting her time and effort into stuff like this. So everybody on the featured stream right now is plugging along on the underworld. It looks like from just who I'm following, it looks like Couch and Nirm are both on the moon at least. So they might be the next couple ones to finish.
I think Couch is doing not Slith Cave. He already did Slith Cave. Z-Man is doing Slith Cave.
I think he's going to land of Summer Monsters.
That would fit. He already did Slith Cave, which would be highest density other than the moon. Summon Monsters isn't bad because of 4 locations, but also 2 shops that can be a benefit to you. Which, by the way, River, you didn't get to see this, but elixirs were for sale.
Alright.
Well, you didn't need them with that Zeromus fight you had.
I was thinking about... My one little regret there was hesitating for a second, like, wait, do I need to go down and check shops? But I was like, just go for it. And if I had not found Rosa, I might have checked in Underworld as well, just knowing that I would need a healer at some point.
These Dark Imps are just being a jerk to Couch.
Oh, that was one of the. Oh, Bahamut call, but I don't think anybody's is really playing with Rydia this time.
No, I think that even for a runner like me who was so used to having Rydia, you start to use her less if you don't get the early summons. If you get Bahamut for her early, that's going to be great. Otherwise.
Speaking of Bahamut, now Couch is like, oh, well, I traded her in, great.
In fact, we saw her twice because, if I recall correctly, she was at Mount Ordeal.
Yep, she was.
So by this point, you've already gotten rid of her twice. Bill is now working on Evelyn Castle, so he should find the Dark Crystal soon. By curiosity, River, what's kind of the lowest level you'll go into this fight at?
Speedrun levels are about 48. So, I mean, if you have adamant armor, you can kind of fudge it a little bit, get a little risky, but otherwise, I tend to stay like high 40s, lower 50s.
Unless, of course, you've got apples.
Yeah, adamants make it a little bit easier to kind of push the tempo there. Zeramus Big Bang Attack doesn't actually reduce a whole lot when you use adamant, but nuke does, and every kind of magic defense multiplier you get really can make a difference in that fight.
Yeah, pretty much the way I do it is like 2,000 hit points. That is pretty much my goal, which you pretty much hit.
Yeah, low 40s, high 50s will get that on most players. I think I had Rosa at like 1,900. Otherwise, it was not a bad little collection of characters. I was happy to find Rosa on the moon. Oh, look, here's Bill. He's about to find the right thing, looks like.
Couch, meanwhile, looks like he's done Subworld, so is going to the moon now. That should put him on the right path. Well, at least soon.
The only thing that's super concerning about placement with Couch is that it's very deep in the moon. So if he starts checking every chest on the way, it's going to take a while. And if he, finds something that might send him out of the moon before, like to get a different character or something, that might also hurt his chances here.
Looks like Z-Man just found a Zeus Gauntlet. That's something he is very pro using.
The Zeus Gauntlet is excellent.
Couch using a double life on those on these monsters here. He's going to get a ton of experience in a little bit.
Real quick, Z-Man is showing off another one of the newer conveniences that is in the randomizer, which is the if you double-click the trash can, you get this auto-delete mode where you can just go around, click the items in the inventory you don't want, and get rid of them. So many great features, and they just keep coming up with new ones.
There's the Stardust Wand. Oh, he's got Palums, so that will help him. That'll increase his black magic ability there.
Yeah, we're starting to see some party variation. There's a couple of Pistoias. Couch has picked up the twins.
So I can go in and come by stream, right? I'm okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I can go ahead and cut stream now?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay, it looks like he's going to at least find the character inside first.
still finding Eagle Eye in the Sylph Cave, one of the most important items ever. Eagle Eye casts Sight, which is really important if you are, say, a casual player and not a randomizer player.
Well,
And
you know,
hey, guess what,
especially
Z-
when you're up
guess-
against those tricksters, you got to get that up-to-date, accurate information.
I was going to say Z-Man found XPs, or at least that's what the FF1 community calls it.
Centipedes aren't worthy heirs of that title. Not worth enough experience. Yeah, curse strings, even passes on that.
Yeah, a lot of runners will equip cursed rings on Cecil to mainly to reduce his agility, to give everybody extra turns against Aromas.
I'm starting to wonder if I am the only person who takes the time to reorder spells.
No, I've seen a few other people reorganize spells.
It can be extremely beneficial, but I think based on the basic Berserk fight sort of thing, you're not really going in the menu that often. If you were doing what we call the Rosa percent kill, where you're reflecting spells off wall, then yeah, it's really important that everything's at the top of the menu. But for this sequence, I think people are usually okay just winging it.
And ultimately, it's going to be comfort level. If you're used to having all those spells in a certain place, the moment you change them, you will really be yourself.
All right, looks like Couch is gonna go through the lunar subterrane.
Good to see that D is on the right track, but we know it's a pretty good spelunking adventure to finally find Plague. How many fights were left at that point? I know there was at least one, but I'm not sure if you did the Crystal Sword either.
I didn't do the Crystal Sword. I didn't do the vanilla Ogopogo spot. Plus, I left a couple of chests on the table. What I like to do in the subterrane is, once I get to that last little section, the kind of fork on the road between going left to vanilla Crystal Sword spot and going right toward all the little caves, is to go towards the caves immediately, eschewing the treasures and then save. Because the last thing you want at that point is, you've done half of the subterrane and you get down there and you run into like Golbez or something and you don't have the right stuff and you just get wiped. Speaking of Golbez,
It was a nice spot for him to be in, actually, in my opinion. Z-Man, by the way, just got his bonus adamant armor from the vanilla Pinktail turn-in.
yeah, Golbez in J2 is a lot easier than he would be otherwise, just because you have the Moonveils and Starveils.
I love that line from Golbez. Guess he's full.
I had to say something.
Yeah, Board Face has done a great job with kind of the flavor text in this game, and I know when people are asking about the next update, and when that happens, I think you'll see even more just how clever he can be with the text.
So this is bad news for Z-Man, although he doesn't know it. The Pan turn-in was the Earth Crystal.
If he does that check, it's going to be pretty quick. We know it's the wrong track, but it is at least pretty quick. I'm not really sure what would be the most time-consuming misdirect right now, unless it was just some kind of chain. But I think we've taken most of the chain possibilities off the table now. you have encounters off and dash, it's really nice for speeding up the dungeons in a river.
Yeah, it really makes for me, like somebody who wants to make the encounters interesting, it's actually hard to see everybody playing this flag all the time. But yeah, I totally get how much easier it feels.
Oh, I play without the encounters all the time.
Yeah, yep. That's about what I figured would happen.
Well, it's a whole lot easier to learn how to toggle encounters than it is to do encounter manipulations.
That's true, but nobody would expect you to do encounter manipulations of this sort of thing. Outside of, I guess, the grind fight, if people want to do that. Another thing about this set of flags that I find is that I generally don't want to do the grind fight at all. I know some people might want to do that early and get out of the way, but I think generally you're going to be fighting so many fights along the way that you almost always have enough levels.
Honestly, that was one of the things that helped convince us that you had found the crystal early, is that you weren't going to the grind fight. I didn't know your strategy on that, approach on that well enough to realize what you were doing.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it crossed my mind as I was going in there, but it just seemed like, you know, would I regret this if I had lost by 2 minutes? Yeah, I would. And I practiced this set of flags enough that I actually kind of figured it out. There's our second finisher.
Yeah, it was one of our off-stream runners. It was Niram, and finished in second place with the time of 1:32.25.
Yeah, Niram's really good at Final Fantasy IV, as well as Final Fantasy Randomizer, if I recall, yes?
I think he's really good at Z2 randomizer.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Z2 Randomizer. I'm sorry.
And what we'll probably do tonight is, as we're still restreaming, if people want to come in and say a few words, we'll invite them in and still pay attention to our runners on restream, but just kind of a way to break things up.
No, Couch, no. No.
Well, he's got a Sir in his party now. Everything's going to be easy, right? Oh no, we've been betrayed.
Funny how that always happens.
Gets me every time.
So Vilbotics is doing pretty much what you did, Rivers, is did that one treasure fight, now going down Bahamut's cave, see what's going on there.
Yeah, anytime you can go out of your way to pick up the archer bow, I find it's the best thing you can do.
Niram, GG to you.
Hello.
And apologies if I pronounced that wrong.
It's impossible to pronounce wrong.
Well,
Did you? No. Before we get any further, did you know it's Rivers McCowan?
I've just always said River, left it at that.
Yeah, he's never emphasized the S at all.
I'm lazy like that. So, talk us a little through what you saw on that one.
I saw a lot. I did most of the underworld. Everything except for the tower key in the underworld. So all of Sylph Cave, all of Land of Sun Monsters. I also did Zot in the, because I was looking for a white mage at that point, and didn't get one, and that ended up being a huge bust. But interesting seed. Definitely benefits those who chose the moon first. Ultimately,
a lot of people did though.
It's actually really surprising because the Darkness Crystal was pretty early, and you started with Edge, so you had, and Excalibur was somewhere that was super easily obtainable. So going to the moon early is something I would have said was incentivized. So I'm surprised more people didn't do it.
Yeah, I believe that was Antlion Cave.
Yeah, Excalibur was at Antlion, and then of course you'd have to do Paladin and Cecil.
Right. which, looking at the runners, looks like pretty much everybody did, right? No, not Bill.
I believe Bill dismissed Cecil when he got this away.
Bill didn't fall for the meme.
But no, I think everybody got Cecil early.
Yeah, I will almost always take Cecil. Just because if you get your hands on an Excalibur or a Crystal Sword, he's gonna hit like a truck regardless of what else you can put on him, even if he's nerfed.
In these flags, I feel like you're heavily incentivized to pick them up because you're going through so many potential Crystal Excalibur spots. And even though, like, my first move was right to Ordeals, I was like, okay, I got Cecil, we're just going to get this done right away. I know what's going to happen.
I thought Z-Man went to Zod. Is he in Babel?
Yep.
Huh. But Couch has gone back to the moon. Now Bill is on the moon as well, so hopefully we're going to see them on the right track shortly.
No, it looks like Bill's gonna go to the Giant of Babel.
You know, I say these things and then I don't listen to my own advice. It's dangerous to try and get inside Runner's head. It's like they know you're going to say X and they go and do Y just to spite you.
Giant of Babel was the troll crystal shield
Yes.
that I wanted to be the crystal. What was the one that had iron in it? I think it was like the first chest on the moon on the top floor.
It was like one of I think it was the first boss battle that was there.
Oh, it was
Either
the
that
first
or-
boss battle?
Either that or it was like the double red dragon chest.
I never fought the double red dragon chest. I fought the red giants. I think that
Oh,
was what it was.
Maybe it was. It was
That
red.
that was just like, dude, the iron shield, extremely helpful this time. What did you finish with? You were off screen. What party did you have?
I had cannon final party.
Oh, so somebody did actually finish Iridia there.
Yeah, I carried Tella through for a long time because I figured maybe I'll go to Giant and grind, but then I hit 10 items and then I still had the moon to explore, so I knew I was going to get the experience I needed regardless. And then I found Bahamut, and that's where Iridia gets super useful.
Yeah, I traded in Iridia for Yang. I kept Yang instead.
I got rid of Yang twice.
Chat pointing out, we mentioned, mostly in passing, the magic point underflow glitch, and that is explained in one of the guides on the FF4 Discord. River, you want to talk about the guides a little bit and what you put together there?
Sure, we tried to put together a couple of guides for newbies. One of them kind of explains in depth all the glitches. We've got video links in case you can't read words very well or whatever. We also got in the newbie corner a gigantic newbie guide that kind of goes over not only basic character design but also Zermus fight, also the various important things you might find along the way. Has the equipments, has the equipments that boost stats, I should say. It has what the JP items do if you've never played the JP version or any of the remakes that had the JP items. So it's really nice to have open if you're new and you're just trying to figure out what to do in this game.
Well, I'm going to mention. Mention something I've noticed. Couch has kept Cecil dead. Cecil's already got 2,000 hit points, so he's good to go there. So the reason he's keeping him dead is so Cecil stops leveling up, which increases his agility and therefore reduces the number of turns over in Zeromus. He's doing that.
Where did Couch find the twins? I didn't see either one of them.
I wasn't
I
really
don't
checking
know.
character locations, but Zod might have been. I don't even know if we saw him do Zod, but just one was, I think, Mount Knowles, is it called? Or
Mount Hobbs.
Hobbs. There we go.
Oh, yep,
You
that's
know, they're
right.
so distinct from each other. That's why I just call it a Chew Mountain, because then I don't have to remember names.
Yeah, I never found Palamporm, Sid, or Fu. It's possible that like the package or something was hiding Fu.
Oh, Bill found him.
Bill. Oh, Z-Man did too. Look at that.
Yeah, they've done a little bit more exploration. Unfortunately, I mean, as a viewer, it's nice to see different things, but just unfortunately, it didn't lead them in the right direction. We did, however, find out that these dark imps are just very rude.
Yeah, that's the kind of fight where you would really want to have the moon veils out. That really helps stuff like this out a lot. Z-Man is just poking one out now.
He wasn't quite prepared for how much HP they would have in this location.
Oh, he's not gonna die. But yeah, that's the barrier status, which is like incredibly helpful for basically makes you immune to physical attacks. And I don't know how long those status last, but I feel like it lasts longer than it should. I know that they actually use it to grind, do the grind fight in the JP version of the game. They throw one of these on Cecil in the back row and have him cover everybody in the party.
Did you run into 2 red dragons, Rivers? That
No,
Couch
I
was dealing
didn't.
with? Oh no! Wow.
Which was annoying because I went out of my way to buy Dragoon armor just in case. But no.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we've seen red dragons today.
This is definitely the nightmare fight of all the chest fights. If you don't have Dragoon armor and you don't have the adamant armor, it's really difficult to actually do enough damage in time to get these guys out of here. Or moon veils.
I think Couch has 2 adamant armors because of the pink tail.
Well, we know Porum's got one on. Can tell that by the damage rolls.
Looks like Z-Man went to pick up a stack of moon veils from summoned monsters, so that'll help things. Come on, Z-Man, go for the moon!
So those red dragons are one of my favorite grind fights. 200,000 experience.
Yeah, if you have 10 key items, yeah, that's what it would be.
Did you know you can't life them? I figured that one out today.
I did know that only because only because of UC. Freaking boss bit, man. All right, guys, I'm gonna take off and eat some late dinner. But thanks so much for running the race, GG Neeram, and hopefully everybody else on stream puts on a good show for finish.
Thanks, Rivers. Appreciate the time, and great show tonight. GG again.
Yuri Rivers, take care. Couch dispatching another 2 dragons for another 2 or 3 levels.
So, Neeram, what's kind of your background with this game, even outside the randomizer?
I've been speedrunning this game since the dawn of time.
You're speedrunning while it's still in beta?
Yeah. I don't know, I started 2014, 2015, I think. Right when No 64 was starting to get really popular, right when the route changed. The initial route that was like 340 with Rosa Ridia changed to Edge, and I got really interested in routing the game because a lot of people were doing streams. Dusler, Elmagus, Abda at the time, and so that's really got me interested. And then I figured, I'd give it a shot. And then like 2 or 3 runs in, I was already competitive. So I've been running the game ever since, though in the last year and a half, I've kind of taken a break from it, but definitely been playing the game for a long time.
Do you kind of stick with the American version? Do you alternate with the Japanese version?
Oh yeah, I've really only ever done a speedrun of the American SNES version. I'm not so much a fan of the other versions.
So just kind of an off-beaten path question. What's kind of been your favorite thing you've seen out of the randomizers?
For free enterprise, so there's like a lot of small touches that are really, really great. For example, if you already have drilled through the underground to get back to the overworld, and then you throw the magma key down, whatever character you have says, "Oh, well, that's gone." When you drop the magma key in the well, there's a lot of like finesse, like polish on this randomizer, and that's what I love about it the most. Boardface has done a lot of little things here and there. Not to mention like the dashing, sped up menus, and whatnot. And it's really an impressive randomizer.
Indeed, and a lot of us have gotten hooked on it, even if we weren't speedrunners of FF4. So it's been exciting and been great to see new people and veteran people come together in these great fields that we've seen so far in the weeklies.
Yeah, it's been pretty great. FF4 speedrunning in general has kind of been on the decline last year or so, but a lot of people kind of coming out of nowhere to get familiarize themselves with the randomizer. So maybe that'll transition over to the actual speedrun. But I don't know. There's a lot of things that spoil you in the randomizer. That I don't know if you could go back after dashing and fast menus.
I feel the same way about Final Fantasy 1. Just the screen transitions that's hard to go back to.
Yeah,
I think Couch is one room away, by the way, from getting Crystal now.
Be interesting to see. That plague fight is no joke. It's in a pretty nasty spot. If he's not ready for it, then it can be pretty dangerous. Though he does have Cecil dead, so he should be fine.
I'd be curious to
Meanwhile,
find out.
Z-Man is... Oh, I'm sorry. Z-Man is going through the Tower of Zot.
Yeah, I'm gonna be curious to find out his reasoning after the fact. Like I said, it's dangerous to try and get in runners' heads, but what I kind of figuring is he's thinking when he goes to the moon, he wants that to be it. If he's gonna go that route, he's just gonna walk all the way through and get everything. And here we go.
Yeah, Couch has already dealt like 17. It's going to be 25,000 points of damage. Yeah, I think Couch is not going to have any problem defeating Plague here. Robotics going after Behemoth.
Chad also making a great point. You can revive Cecil with an item. Plague's gonna recast his spell and it'll restart the count from scratch. So you basically get a free reset on this timer just by using a life.
There's the crystal, there's the split, and Couch is going for game.
And didn't even come to that.
I'm actually curious. It might be faster to exit out from here and then use the pass, but it's probably pretty close. You'd also have to watch the big whale cutscene. Maybe it's probably super close.
I don't think he saved. Probably not the biggest deal, but just for me being me, I always feel paranoid if I don't have that saved.
I have a feeling with Couch being so experienced as he is, he feels that he has virtually a 100% chance of defeating Zeromus.
Yeah, I didn't catch what his levels are, but I assume after everything he's done, they should be very good. They're probably higher.
Yeah, one good thing about the moon bosses is if you have those 10 key items and you're plowing through the moon, you're gonna come out like level 50 or 60 easy.
Just a little side note for those wondering. Rosa in Final Fantasy IV learns exit at a scripted event time after the fight with Lovalis. So Z-Man was just able to learn exit with Rosa. That is the same time you learn it in the randomizer.
All right. Here we go. Now Couch is going to go against Kefkamis.
How many different forms of Zeramos do you think you've seen by now?
Me? Maybe 10. I've seen Tyson. I've seen the train. I've seen Kefka. I've seen Rockman. The guy from Mega Man. Yellowmus, that's what he's called. Probably seen a couple hours. Haven't seen the Dragon Lord yet. I'm looking forward to seeing the Dragon Lord.
I know Boardface said just today he implemented 40 more, so it'll be fun to see.
Wow.
Oh, that'll keep us busy.
Chat, we're gonna have to get more community races together now. Meanwhile, it looks like Z-Man and Bill are both through the lunar subterranean now, so good to see they're both on the right track.
Yeah, Z-Man. Yep. Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and bow out. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the restream. Always nice to see the randomizer grow, and keep up the good work.
We appreciate the time, and again, GG to you.
Good game. All right. Things are looking really good for Couch, and just getting hammered. Kefkamis is.
Yeah, that Yang is obviously got quite a lot of hit points, and might also be equipped with the adamant armor for more attack power, so gonna do quite a lot here, especially
Dang, Couch just went, screw it, I'm throwing down the weak. Or I'm throwing down the white spell. And that's going to result in the death of Edge.
Medio phase, so it's close to the end.
Oh, that indeed.
And that is going to be our third place finish for Couch. Time of 1:53.56.
Wow, I tell you, this has been a big separation of times between first and third. 45 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah, and that's the difference in your routing decisions. And obviously, we saw today that the right play was going to the moon, but just think about how differently it could have been. If it had been in that slip cave, then someone like Couch would have totally flipped this on Rivers. But a bunch of very high-level runners participating in tonight, any one of which was capable of winning if they made the right choices, and they know how to execute this on such a high level.
Indeed.
So by the way, we didn't talk about the ending credits before. Of course, as the trend has gone, you get your typical stats. It'll tell you the bosses you fought, the key items you found, few other stats, and it'll also give you an item recap of where all the key items were.
Yeah, I really enjoy that. Yet another great enhancement.
And Couch should possibly theoretically be with us now, so GG to you.
Good game, Couch.
Hold on a second. I'm having some minor issues on my end.
That'll happen. Meanwhile, our fourth place finisher is Alexa LaFay.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Great run. We were, Alexa was talking about how nervous this person was and winds up in fourth place out of 16. Great run.
Yeah, and sub 2 hours on these flags is no joke either. That is an incredibly respectable one.
All right, I should be ready if you guys are.
Well, again, GG to you. Third place, you want to talk us through your decision making a little bit?
I was just trying to get pretty much 10 key items right away, so my grinding will be shorter. And then I was hoping for the crystal to show up somewhere, but I was just following the breadcrumbs quite terribly, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a pretty early dark crystal, though.
Yeah, I as soon as I got the dark crystal, I thought about it. I was like, I mean, I could go to the moon, but I did feel a little underleveled. But, I mean, make mistakes, right?
Well, I was just saying before you got in here that you know, if the crystal hadn't been on the moon, you could easily have reversed this on Rivers tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, the
And
finishes
our
are coming in. Oh,
Go ahead, Game Boy.
I'm sorry. The finishers are coming in real quick. Mechalink, 5th place, 157.48.
Well, we're probably at a point where we're going to cycle through people pretty fast for interviews. So, Couch, any burning things you want to get in?
No, it was a pretty fair seed, to be honest. Or easy characters to start with, and that's about it.
How fun has it been, though, to see these big fields for the weeklies?
Oh, it's been a blast. I love seeing more and more people join FF4, whether it's, you know, randomizer or vanilla. It's so amazing to see more and more people get into it.
Obviously, everybody got to see you run tonight. You do a lot of runs during the week, so if you want to see more, you're a good person to follow.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, Couch, and again, GG.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Here we go. Plague. Over in Bill Boddick's side.
This is the fight. Of course, it's that
Can Bill
weird.
Boddick's.
This is that
I'm sorry,
weird
go
location
ahead.
where it's 2 treasure chests.
Hey there.
Alexa, GG to you.
Thank you so much. Oh man, let me put my headphones in so I'm not echoing. Unless, is there an echo with you guys?
That's not bad.
Oh, well, we can do better than not bad. I've got headphones on now.
All right, well, we didn't get to see your run, but obviously a very good one. A solid 4th place in sub 2 hours. Talk us through it a little bit.
It is my first run, but Final Fantasy IV is my favorite game, and I know quite a bit about it already, and I've been playing a bunch on my own, but this is the first time I've done sub 2 hour. My other time is like 2 hours and 40 minutes. So I started out with some good characters, right? Like everybody did, I imagine. And I found Excalibur really quickly because I believe Edward had Excalibur, And then I was like, okay, well, I have Dark Knight Cecil now, so I might as well just make him a paladin. And I wouldn't have kept Cecil if not for Couch and some of the other runners talking about it during practice and saying that, like, oh, this is a good set of flags to have Cecil. And I found a bunch of crystal equipment. So I had, like, Edge with duped Excaliburs, and I had Cecil with a bunch of crystal equipment, and I had Kane with... I had Vanilla Party, too. I dismissed Tella for Rosa on the moon. And then I just had the vanilla final boss party. Sorry, I'm really excited and like adrenaline's running because I've never really done anything like this before, and I feel like I did well too. Thanks. Yeah, it was really fun. And like my friends came out in the chat to support me, which is really cool. But I saw Rivers finished, and I had just kind of almost exhausted all of my options, and it was either like trapped chests or go straight to the moon. And I was like, I'm gonna take a gamble and go to the moon because I feel like I can grind on the moon while clearing out bosses, and there's trap chests up there, and if I find the crystal, I'll get lucky. And it started like, I feel like everything was pointing towards me going back and like leaving the moon, because I found like the package, and I found the sand ruby, and I found the tower key, and I was like, oh man, like maybe the moon is telling me to not be here. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna clear out the bosses, and then I'll go check Baron, and I'll check like a bunch of other places. And I guess it paid off, because I fought Plague, and I used some Plague strats that I figured out just kind of on my own, that you could kill yourself and then he'll recast stuff. He'll recast Count. And I got the crystal. I got lucky, really, is what it is. But I had a lot of fun.
Unfortunately, Bill has had some trouble with this fight, but with his party members down, he should actually back into that strat.
On my last recorded run of this game, my last like stream of this game, I ran into Plague in the Leviathan spot, and I did not know how to deal with him. I just like didn't know what to do, and I just like killed someone on a whim and revived him to see if that would cause him to reset it, and it worked. And then later on, as I was complaining about it in the chat a few days ago, maybe last week, somebody was like, "Oh, you could use Reflect." Yeah, I think my practice paid off, definitely. I learned how to fight bosses that I didn't know how to fight over the past couple weeks, like Golbez. I like made sure to buy Star Veils or Moon Veils because I knew that I might run into Golbez, and he is just impossible. He just sucks. Yeah, this is really fun. I feel like I'm taking up a lot of like interview time.
Oh, you're fine. Game Boy and I have been talking for 2 hours. It's nice to get perspective from different people and what they thought.
Thank you for
Bill did it.
commentating.
He finally got through that fight.
Oh, awesome. And he's gonna get rewarded with that crystal. That
Indeed.
sweet, sweet crystal. Oh, man. What a lovely time. Well, thank you for having me on this interview. I think I'm going to head off now and just kind of chat with my fingers instead of my mouth.
All right, appreciate the time, and again, GG to you.
Oh, thank you very much. Have a lovely night.
You too. Thanks for joining us.
Do. Now, how to figure out how to leave.
The one that looks like a phone receiver.
Oh, there.
He found it.
All right. Bill
Hey,
Boggs still
it's
going.
new to you. It's new to you. So Bill has the crystal. He's on the right track. Z-Man's still working through the moon at this point, and the end is getting closer for them.
So I think Silverfire was not officially in the race, but he did decide He was and he wasn't in the race, so he did clock in for a time of 2:04.06, so unofficially 6th place.
Yeah, might have been having one of those people who had trouble with the setup or just couldn't get here in time and ran it parallel. And you can always ask if you want to run this one for yourself. I'm actually thinking I might do a run back of this seed tomorrow, which obviously it would be a bit biased with the information I know, but still.
Yeah, we could see how fast what the most optimal time would be.
Oh, we could find out what my most optimal time would be. Let's not kid ourselves. Thinking
All right, here we go. Robotics going after Kefkamus.
And real quick, just mention this is obviously a lot of people in this tonight. So if you want to see more after we finish up our stream, there will still be people running it most likely. And Silverfire getting a lot of congratulations in the IRC. But again, at this point, when runners get to the Zaramos fight, they should be at higher level, should have a lot more comfort with it. And just the idea you can go in here with Lasoya should also help. It's that extra magic power that they didn't necessarily have. So Lasoya, with his depth of both white and black magic, you can get a lot of stuff done.
Yeah, indeed. Z-Man going after a couple of red dragons, so love the reward. $1 million levels for everyone.
You'll take any you can get. Also, I think he's the only one without Yang. If I'm not mistaken, everybody else we've seen had Yang, although two of our runners said they had vanilla final parties, so obviously they didn't. But
that's right, no, he's not using Yang.
there are a lot of these fights on the moon. So as long as you're strong enough to get start here, it's really going to be a good place under these type of flags where you need these monster in a box fights. And all those lunar bosses as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if you're not playing with those flags, if you need experience and you have access to this, fighting those lunar bosses is going to be a great source. So if you're not able to do, say, trapdoors, or, well, if you can get here, you can get to Giant of Battle, so that's still probably going to be a more ideal option, but it is an option here. And we will soon see good things out of Bill's side.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it too.
Sometimes we don't always know how the restream is going with real time. You always know there's going to be some lag, so you try not to say things too fast, but there's some flashing. So Bill was our 6th place finisher, time of 2:09.07.
Good game out of Illbotics.
And Z-Man should be close to the fight now as he's at the save point.
Yeah, Z-Man going after Milan Z.
Oh, I'm sorry, wrong save point. I think that's Sand Ruby.
Oh, those 2 actions for 18,000. Well, 3 actions for 25. Yeah, goodbye, Milan.
Fall flat into the deep ravine, or something like that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Fall flat into the void of space. I don't know.
Or in Milan's case, just fall flat.
Alright, so Z-Man still has to explore the moon a little bit more.
Yeah, he's almost there, though, I think.
And for what I think is nearly a full clear run, this is a very good time for that.
Yeah, that's true. Z-Man's pretty much done virtually all of the objectives. I don't know if he got 17 out of 17, but... I think we're gonna find out.
Get
Oh,
the
no, we're not.
spoon, but if he did, he's the only one. Alright, he's on the right floor.
Robotics got 15 out of 17.
Question in chat, did we ever see the Luca key? We actually didn't need to know that item, because this is glitches in this run. They used warp to go back and get that item. Yang's wife had the spoon. Was this even random? Oh, GG, Bill. May not quite have Discord working just yet. That's Discord being Discord.
Darn Discord.
Oh, that officer. He's such a coward. Yeah, take away his troops, and then what's just runs away with his upteen how many hit points.
Well, there goes 10 grand off of play before the count even starts.
A nice healthy number of damage. I have no idea how much HP he has in this spot, but non-trivial.
I think Rivers said like 40 grand.
Okay,
So 24 of it gone.
I mean, you get 3 nukes off, and you're pretty close right there. Yeah, maybe not, but the Excalibur and nuke, that's a lot of damage combined. Oh, if you're getting 2 nukes around. First try. 200,000 experience for that, oh, by the way. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. 200,000 experience, man. First, he'll find the tower key, then he'll find the crystal. Time to go for game.
I wonder if he'll actually walk it all the way down there with the no encounters, or if he'll go out for the pass.
Yeah, we haven't seen anybody.
No, Z-Man, no! Oh my! Z-Man does not know something that he needs to know, which is never de-equip the adamant armor.
Oh, whoops.
That is gonna hurt. And hopefully he'll be able to figure out why. So basically, as best I'm able to summarize this, what Z-Man just did was permanently nerf his magic defense. When you take off the adamant armor, the resistances that you had get nerfed the other way, and it's just not pleasant. And maybe somebody is around who can explain that in better detail than I can, but That's the Reader's Digest version. Whoever you put adamant
Yeah.
armor on, you do not want to be taking it off of them.
Yeah, I think you become weak in fire, ice, and lit, and lightning.
The one good news with that is I don't think those are Zaramas' elements. I don't think any of them are based on that. So it's possible this won't hurt as much as I'm reacting to. It's just I panic about these things.
Well, when Z-Man sees the replay, now he'll know.
Yeah, if you're taking unusually high damage, it'll stand out.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna take a.
Oh, by the way, we've brought up the Discord a few times, and I'm going to go ahead and do that link again. But been great to see the people come in and join the Discord tonight, and hope you all have a great time.
Yeah, I actually took a look at the rest of the racers. We actually have 4 people going after Kefkamus right now. Z-Man, Demarine, Dragon MZ, and Penguinator all going after Kefka.
Yeah, it's really great to see so much participation tonight. If we weren't working on restream duty tonight, you and I'd probably be in this too.
Possibly.
Bill, do we have you yet?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Hi.
Good game.
So GG to you.
Sure. That was interesting.
Well, talk to us a little bit about it. A little bit of a late trip to the moon.
Yeah, I felt pretty good for the first half, and then I saw Rivers get done, and I said, well, clearly I'm missing something. And then I had completely forgotten about Evelyn Castle. I thought I had done everything on the overworld. And from there, it was just a downward spiral.
Real quick, Penguinator has just finished in 7th, time of 2:17:42. So yeah, it was interesting logic that you had to find the Dark Crystal and then take that to the moon.
Yes, and I almost gave up on Plague as well, and I'm very glad I did not.
That would have been easy to do. We saw you having a little bit of trouble with that one.
Yeah, that countdown timer was going awfully fast.
And people fast and furious now. Dragon MZ finished in 8th, time of 2:18. Any other highlights about this run stand out to you?
It was a pretty fun seed. It was kind of nice to do the world tour since I didn't get to the moon early. Always nice to have Edge, early. It was a pretty easy seed, when you get Edge early, it's just a treasure hunt at that point.
When you get Edge and then it lets you duplicate Excalibur's sword. Like, wow.
Yeah, I didn't have Cecil, so I wasn't able to do that. That would have been nice. Gugner worked well for me, but Excalibur would have been
Sure.
sweet.
As long as you got something to throw.
That's right.
If you even had to, somebody was doing, I think, 4,500 damage just with Edge attacking.
Dang, so much nuking going on over here with Z-Man.
Well, that's one way to make sure you get it timed right, is to just cast it all the time.
Maybe he's going for lowest frames per second.
He's also got the extra white magic there, so it's easier to recover. And Demarine 2 has just finished in 9th place with a time of 2:19:52. So was there anywhere you can recall that you didn't go?
Actually, I think I went everywhere. I did skip Leviathan spot because the Dark Imps whooped me. And I skipped Upper Babel. But other than that, I think I hit everything.
Penguinator, who's just joined us in chat, wants to know where Fasoya was. Did you have Fasoya, or do I need to answer that for you?
I had him. I don't remember. That whole scene was just a blur.
I think he was at Baron.
Yeah, I think it was a Baron.
That sounds right.
Medio phase for Z-Man, so we're close here. And that is going to be Z-Man taking care of business. A 10th place finish. 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 5 seconds.
So the difference between 6th and 10th is 12 minutes. 11:58 to be exact. Alright, we're gonna have Z-Man come in here for a quick interview. So this is the last program for today on the Random Mania Network. But we have a full calendar for you tomorrow. We've got Super Mario Land 2 League starting at 1. We got the Cinco Bingo Tournament at 2. We have a Final Fantasy Randomizer League Stage 7 at 6. A couple more Pokemons. We have the Zelda 2 Randomizer Weekly Race at 9 o'clock. So a lot of good stuff coming up tomorrow on the Randomania Network.
Yeah, if you haven't heard enough of me, I think I'm on that FF1R too.
Oh, are you going to be in that race?
No, I think I'm calling that race. So I'm saying if you haven't heard enough of me yet, I'm doing that one too.
Yeah, everybody get in for a quick interview. Good game, Z-Man.
Thank you, sir. Good game to everybody else that's here. I think it's just Bill. Good game, Bill.
Hey, good game, man.
So you're well known for your commentary. So please commentate your run, Z-Man.
This is exactly what I get for ignoring my gut. Now, see, my gut was telling me the crystal's on the moon, the crystal's on the moon, the crystal's on the moon. It was saying that right as I was doing my grind before going into the Sylph Cave to clear that out. And then the Sylph Cave just distracted me here, there, and everywhere before I got to the moon. I should have followed my gut. I should have ground up till I had Nuke on Palom, and I should have went to the moon.
And instead
I did everything else but go to the moon.
Yeah, we were all watching it like, dude, Z-Man, go to the moon, go to the moon, and it didn't happen.
And I was telling myself
to
go to the moon. I was
signals.
and I was telling myself go to the moon, but I kept ignoring myself, and that's what I get.
Also, Penguinator, GG to you.
Good game.
Thank you. GG's all around.
GG Penguin.
How'd you feel about that one?
So that was my first time actually doing a K3 or K4 seed, so feeling things out a bit. Took me a while before I went to the moon, just because I wasn't used to it, I think. I got a very early edge with a duped Excalibur, so I was basically just killing everything instantly with that, so it wasn't too hard as far as the fights went.
Well, we're gonna start to wrap this up, so Penguinator, any final thoughts you'd like to share?
If you're doing this flag set, go to the moon.
Good thought. Z-Man, anything to say other than ditto?
You know what? Even though I didn't follow my own gut, I still had a blast, and I'm looking forward to doing this again maybe next week.
All right, appreciate the time for all three of our runners still here, and GG to you all. One of the runners that is still in this is Fred Coughlin, of course, well known for the Z1 randomizer and all-around nice guy. So before we host him up, Game Boy, any thoughts from you?
I think that's everything. I've been an honor to join you, Trenton, for the very first time, and join Randomizer for the very first restream of their weekly. So, been a real blast. We look forward to seeing all of you next week on the Randomizer Network.